all day.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the ShipFlip channel. It is Saturday, May 1st. We have made it through April and we've pretty much made it through the quarantine. Wanted to do a quick video here. We haven't gotten haircuts yet. That's going to be something that's coming here soon, hopefully. But yeah, I wanted to kind of go over a little video here and talk to you about setting up your bank accounts. And you probably maybe only have one bank account. And notice that I said bank accounts for flipping and reselling. And you know what? It doesn't really matter if you exactly copy the way that I say this, as long as you sort of set up some sort of system for organizing your money a little better based on what I'm telling you. That's the end goal here today, is that if you really want this to be a real business, you need to start treating it like a real business and start organizing your money. And I'm going to give you at least the baseline idea on how you need to do that. So, you know, one of the questions I get all the time is, well, you sell all this stuff online, you know, and you bring in all these sales. What happens when you do your taxes at the end of the year if you make a bunch of money? And I say, well, you're going to owe money on your taxes then, because you never paid taxes on that income. And when you claim it and you get your form from PayPal or Amazon or whoever you're going through that says you made at least $20,000 in sales, the IRS already knows that now. So now you have to claim that number that's on the top of that PayPal form. In fact, I think I'm looking at it right now for mine from last year, but you have to claim that amount. So that amount of income is what's going to get taxed unless you start writing off other expenses that you also should have been keeping track of. So how can you do this? Well, if you only have one account, it's going to be really hard to pick through all the different transactions at the end of the year and figure out which ones were expenses, which ones were leisure, which ones were income, and all of that. You know, you'd have to sort it by PayPal and all that. The best thing you can do is ignore what goes into your PayPal and set up a minimum of 3 bank accounts, right? And I actually suggest 4 because you're going to want one for yourself as well, like a personal account. So if you have 4 bank accounts, then you have your main account, right? And this is the account that you should take all of the different incomes that you get, right? Like your PayPal, your Mercari, your Sideline Swap, your Amazon, everything that brings you money. And I know that Goat and StockX and those things go through PayPal, so it'll be just emptying your PayPal. And you should empty those into your bank account as often as those platforms will let you. So if it's daily, then you should be dumping that money into your bank account daily. If it's Amazon and it's like every other day that it takes for you to have available funds there, do it every other day and take that money, because you never know what's going to happen to your account. That's step 1. So start dumping all of your income into that one main account, right? That's step 1. Now I said you had 3 or 4 accounts. Let's go with the 4 because that to me is the easiest one to do it. That's the most organized and best, most efficient way to do it. So you have 4 accounts. Well, we just talked about the tax side of things, right? At the end of the year, all of that income that you're putting into those bank accounts, you're going to have to claim all of it, and then it's going to get taxed. And you can figure out that the average tax rate on that is probably about 20%. So you want to set up another bank account. Now this can be, if you're a credit union type person, this can be shares within the same account, or this can be a separate bank account altogether. But you're going to want to have another account that you label as your tax account, right? So you got your main parent account up here, and then down here, part 1 is your tax account. So this is the basic 4 account method. You're gonna have 1 account here, and then you're gonna have 3 tree branches down here for different accounts. So account 1 is your tax account, and 20% of everything that goes into your main top account needs to go into your tax account. So if you just deposited $1,000 from PayPal into, and this is of your profit now, so you need to be keeping track of your expenses and all of that, which when I talk to you about the second account, you'll have a better grasp on that. But so you don't want to do 20% of all of the income, you want to do 20% of the profit, right? So say you put $1,000 in profit into your main bank account, and you know that might have been a $1,700 payment because some of that was not profit, right? It was overhead and it was the original cost of the item and stuff. So a $1,700 transfer to your bank account might only be $1,000 of profit. So if you had that $1,000 of profit, you want to slide 20% of that into your tax account immediately, right? And just let that sit there and chill till the end of the year, because that might be what you owe at the end of the year. You want to have that ready to go though, in case you do owe it. You might be able to write off other stuff to minimize that, and whatever's left over, you can just transfer it back. But in the meantime, send 20% to that account every single time. Don't skimp it, because you don't want to end up owing money at the end of the year. So that's the way to protect yourself against that, right? Well, account number 2 is your spending account, right? And that's basically, you would have developed a budget based on what your monthly expenses are for supplies and what your monthly inventory expenses are. And then once you know what that amount is per month, you can take monthly out of your parent account and just slide that amount into your spending account and know that that's the amount that's always going to be in there readily available to spend per month. And that's already kept track of now, and it's already only gated in one account. So the only transactions that are going to come out of that spending account are going to be spending. And so at the end of the year, or at the end of the month, it should be more likely, when you go to add up transactions, they're all going to be neatly organized there for you in one account, and there's going to be no other traffic there. It's just only going to be spending. And so you'll see all the different spending that you did, and you can just add it up, right? And that'll also, your parent account will now keep a true balance, right? And so the true balance will be everything that's left of what you budgeted monthly for spending and everything that comes off of tax-wise, right? And so now the amount in your parent account is actually the true amount of money that your company is worth at that moment. And so now you've really done a good thing. And well, what's the third account on the tree branch? That's your personal account, right? And once you've generated enough revenue monthly, you can start to pay yourself like a paycheck out of that parent account, and it starts to become a regular thing. And so you can see by doing this that you've really organized your money, and you've basically broken it down into 3 different separate accounts off of that main account, that now you can look back at that main account and say, hey, this is actually the amount of money I'm working with in this business right now. It's not a mystery. I don't have to do a bunch of math. It's not a big headache come tax season where you have to go through a bunch of receipts and add a bunch of stuff. Well, that might still be a thing, but otherwise, you can see how organizing it this way will go a long way in really, really helping you understand what your money is. I'm a Michael Vick fan. I think he's really changed his life around. And the reason I bring that up is because I was watching the Michael Vick documentary, and when they were talking about his time in Atlanta, one of the quotes that the coach that he had, a former coach he had, said was, if you're not in control, you're out of control. And so when it comes to, and the reason I brought Michael Vick up in that is because there was a point in time where his financial advisor said, how much money do you have, Mike? And he said, I'm not even sure. I don't know what's in my bank account. Like like there's guys fighting dogs at his Virginia estate, like that he's not even at, and he's not in control. So guess what? He's out of control. And that's what ultimately was his downfall. Your money is no different, right? If you're not in control of your money is out of control, and you don't know what you're doing with it. You don't know how much you have. You don't know what you can spend, and you'll eventually spend yourself into a bad situation, or you won't have the money you need for something when it comes time to need it. So hopefully these ideas helped you, and hopefully this was helpful in organizing your money and setting up your banking so that you can run a real professional flipping business. If this video was helpful, go ahead and subscribe to the page. But in the meantime, keep on flipping.